This is the story of Jimmy and Timmy Glucose. Two twin brothers, but one is adopted. Timmy is a scholar of the family, and Jimmy is the rebel. Their family business has recently gone bankrupt, and the two brothers are handling it very differently.
Our story takes place in the city of Mitochondria, featuring Jimmy and Timmy. This is Timmy Glucose. He's the non-adopted part of the twins. He's been struggling a lot since the income of ATP for his family had stopped recently. He's been making impulse decisions, bad haircuts, his grades have been falling. I heard his GPA is at a 1.2. I don't know how he's going to graduate glycolysis high school at this point. This is Jimmy Glucose. He's the adopted part of the twins. I don't know how that works. That's just how it is. He hasn't been as emotionally hit as Timmy has by the loss of the family business. He's focused on school, and his goal is to go to Krebs Cycle College and then go to electron transport chain medical school. Going through the process of glycolysis high school with Jimmy and Timmy. Anyway, they made it through glycolysis, meeting many ADPs and ATPs, either adding to them or reducing them. They eventually became G3Ps and eventually made up their way to pyruvates, ready to graduate. Anyways, this is them graduating glycolysis high school together. They look dumb. Oh.
I don't know how you made it past glycolysis with 1.2 GPA, but...
Anyways, that was their graduation. I hope you enjoyed that. This is Timmy with his 1.2 GPA. Yeah, he's doing good. And this is Jimmy with his oxygen scholarship. He's going to Krebs Cycle College, you know. A newly graduated pyruvate, Timmy Glucose, who had not received any oxygen scholarship, could not attend Krebs Cycle College. This led him into mitochondrias, a place where lactic acid fermentation was done. Without oxygen, this is an anaerobic occupation he could take place in. This would help him produce enough ATP to make meets ends and survive, but not enough to splurge out on luxuries. Anyway, his new life as a pyruvate at mitochondrias performing lactic acid fermentation had him helping reproduce NAD plus from NADH. This way, glycolysis could keep happening and he could produce ATP, even though it was meets end. Unfortunately, as an employee at mitochondrias, he got bullied for a while and had to resort to alcoholic fermentation. Moving on, we are following Jimmy Glucose, who has an oxygen scholarship to the Krebs Cycle College, in which he will take another step to making his dream amount of ATP before going to electron transport chain medical school. Since he needed the oxygen scholarship to go here, it's a very prestigious college, and it's known as one of the top aerobic colleges to go to. This is Jimmy meeting his first friend, acetyl-CoA, who helped initiate him into citric acid fraternity. Joining the citric acid fraternity, he started reducing NAD plus to NADH and carbon dioxide, as well as GDP to GTP and FAD to FADH2. This helped him become oxaloacetate. With that, he had finally graduated Krebs Cycle College and was on to ETC Med School with tons of NADH and FAD2 to help him gain the ATP he needed. This is Jimmy with his NADH and FADH2 bringing electrons to H2 to the carrier protein. Here we can see Jimmy bringing the electrons to carrier proteins, and the last one being oxygen, which acts as the final electron acceptor and uses the H's to form water. From here, we enter into chemiosmosis. Anyway, Jimmy starts getting on the ATP grind, helping move H plus through ATP synthase to cross the border of the mitochondria. This helps him gain credits to graduate ETC med school and get his dream job of producing 32 to 36 ATP per cycle. Now that we've reached the end of their main stories, let's recap the amount of ATP they both made in their lifetime. In glycolysis high school, in which they didn't need oxygen to go to, they made a net of 2 ATP, which would help support them. By attending Krebs Cycle College, Jimmy was able to make 2 more ATP by substrate levels and ready to attend med school, ETC med school. By going through this med school, he made it to the point where he made his dream salary, 32 to 36 ATP per cycle. Jimmy died early because he was poor, but Jimmy lived a long and good life. The end. Timmy, played by Jonathan. Jimmy, played by Abe. Beginning narrator is played by Siddharth. Edited, produced, and narrated by Caitlin Pham. Sponsored by Mrs. Psyche. Please don't fail us. We love you. Bye-bye.
Pineapple apple pen.